Hola, muy buenas a todos, bienvenidos una semana más al podcast de Foreigners España. Hoy estoy con Miquel, uno de nuestros expertos de cabecera en tema de college, que le veréis los lunes haciendo cositas de college con Albert y con Miguel. Hola Miquel, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Gracias por invitarme.
Nada, un placer tenerte aquí como siempre, Miquel, y nada, pues sobre todo para echarnos una mano con el tema del inglés, que vamos a entrevistar hoy a un grande de los Niners, a Jesse Sapolu. Jesse, welcome.
Thank you for having me on.
Welcome. It's for us a big pleasure to have you here in the podcast of Foreign Spain. Thank you very much for being here, and we hope you will enjoy the interview. Miquel, ¿algo que explicarle a Jesse antes de empezar?
No, basically what we said before. So we are going to ask you questions. We are going to read the questions in Spanish first for our listeners, and later on we'll ask you in English, and we'll do a small summary just to explain, because some of our listeners listen to the podcast, they don't watch the program. So if we translate, if we subtitle the answers, they are not going to see it. So we'll say a little bit what you say in the answer.
¿Qué iba a decir? Bueno, pues nada, vamos a empezar con las preguntas. Lo que iba a decir, bueno, el tema es que, chicos, vamos a ir intentando traducir lo que va a ir diciendo Jesse, ¿vale? Un poquito resumido para que sea lo más dinámico posible. Y nada, empezaré preguntando yo en español y luego en inglés. Y bueno, pues lo que Jesse nos vaya contestando, pues lo vamos traduciendo. Y bueno, first of all, Jesse, I will try to do my best in English. Miquel is better English speaking than me, but I will try to do my best in a language which is not my main language. Obviously, I'm Spanish and I speak Spanish all time. So we will begin now. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, thank you very much. La primera pregunta, que la tengo por aquí, es: ¿de dónde viene tu pasión por el fútbol, Jesse? Where does your passion for football come from?
I was big for my age. I was a big kid, so obviously I wanted to play basketball, but I got too heavy. 240 pounds as a 14-year-old is too heavy to play basketball. But football was the right sport for me, and I'm glad I chose football because of I found a little success in it.
Ok, nos comenta Jesse que quería jugar a baloncesto, pero que era demasiado grande y demasiado pisado para jugar a baloncesto, y que, bueno, se decidió por el fútbol y que está contento de haber escogido el fútbol. Entonces, vamos a preguntarle ahora cómo se vive el fútbol en Hawái. Jesse, how do people live football in Hawaii?
Hawaii is one of the 50th states in the United States. So football, you play it at school, and back in the day, there weren't a lot of Polynesians like Hawaiian Samoans that played in the NFL. Now we have close to 100. But during my time, I was one of the first ones to come through. So we love the physicality of the game. The warrior mentality of hitting somebody and having some fun with it. So that's why I grew up in Hawaii, enjoying doing playing football.
Nos comenta Jesse que, bueno, que él fue uno de los primeros en jugar en la NFL, quiero decir, que, bueno, al ser un estado de los 50 de Estados Unidos, pues que se juega al fútbol a nivel escolar y a nivel colegial, y que, bueno, que han jugado cerca de 100 jugadores tanto de Samoa como de Hawái en la NFL, y que esa mentalidad guerrera que tiene la gente de Polinesia, pues que la trasladan un poco a la NFL, y que ese es el estilo de fútbol que gusta en Hawái.
Yeah. How was your college time in Hawaii?
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, at that time when I was in Hawaii, not many NFL players were picked from Hawaii. So it was important for me to, when I got picked by the 49ers in the 1983 draft, not only to come and try out for the team, but I felt the pressure that I needed to make it and show the kids from Hawaii that they can also come and play in the NFL.
Uh-huh. Nos comenta que ahora hay muchos más jugadores de Hawái y Samoa, bueno, de las islas jugando, pero que cuando él fue elegido en el draft no había tantos, entonces pues sintió un poco de presión por el hecho de representar a la universidad y a las islas, bueno, al estado bueno, que conforman las islas. Bueno, vamos a preguntarle ahora, Jesse sigue muy ligado a la Universidad de Hawái, que están en reconstrucción con el entrenador Chan que tienen, recuperando el run and shot con su hijo que es coordinador ofensivo y de línea. Vamos a preguntarle qué cree que lo hace tan especial. Jesse, you are closely attached to the University of Hawaii. They are rebuilding with Coach Chang the run and shoot super characteristic. Your son, if I'm not wrong, is the offensive coordinator and OL coach. For those of us who like college, we are pretty fans of college. What does it have that makes it so special?
Well, it's pretty interesting that you guys know a lot. So you probably studied it.
Yeah, well, for us, Hawaii is what you can watch on TV if you wake up early on Sunday around 7 p.m., 7 a.m. You have breakfast and you can see the third or fourth quarter of the game. So that's the knowledge we have about Hawaii these days.
And we have investigated. We have investigated well.
I'm proud that one of my sons is at my alma mater and trying to help the program out. He was also coaching at Fresno State before that, but our family name is kind of an established name in Hawaii through the game of football, and to have my youngest son continue to coach there is a proud moment for all of us.
Nos comenta que su apellido ha estado muy ligado al fútbol en Hawái y que está muy orgulloso de que su hijo continúe la saga Sapolu en la Universidad de Hawái. Porque como comentaba Miquel, está entrenador de línea ofensiva ahí en el college, en la Universidad de Hawái. Y está muy orgulloso de que su hijo continúe su legado, digamos, en su alma mater, como lo llaman ellos, en su universidad en la que él estudió. I'm telling you, you arrived to the NFL in the 1983 NFL draft and an historic draft with John Elway, Jim Kelly, and Dan Marino. How do you recall your arrival to the Niners?
Well, if I can make it out, yeah, I got drafted in that 1983 draft, which is considered one of the best drafts ever because we had 6 quarterbacks that went in the first round. Including Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, John Elway, I think Kenny O'Brien, some great quarterbacks. But I was the very last pick of the San Francisco 49ers. We had 12 rounds back then. We didn't have a 12-round pick. I was the 11th round, so I was the last pick. But our first pick was in the second round, a guy by the name of Roger Craig, who was a running back. Roger and I ended up playing, I think he played 11 years for the 49ers. I ended up playing 15. So, that was a successful draft from the standpoint that they found two key guys who helped win Super Bowls. I think Roger's got 3 Super Bowl rings, and I was able to get 4. So that was important for us to contribute to the success of the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm. Nos comenta que fue un draft histórico, como decimos aquí. Se seleccionaron 5 quarterbacks en primera ronda. San Francisco habían 12 rondas, si no he entendido mal, ese año. Y él fue uno de los elegidos. Estuvo 15 años jugando en el equipo y consiguieron muchas cosas. Hay Hall of Famers ahí, hay gente muy importante. Es considerado el draft más importante o mejor.
Perdona, Miquel, por resumir, porque es que antes, cuando hemos empezado, no hemos presentado como Dios manda. Es un poco el tema de los nervios, ¿vale? De hacer una entrevista en inglés la primera vez. Bueno, Jesse es uno de los una leyenda en Niners, campeón 4 veces del Super Bowl, línea ofensiva en la época de Joe Montana, 2 veces Pro Bowl. Bueno, una auténtica eminencia dentro de los Niners. Para los que no le conozcáis, es uno de los guardianes de Joe Montana, ¿vale? O sea, no estamos hablando de cualquier cosa. Y de Steve Young, eso es. O sea, no estamos hablando de cualquier cosa. Jesse, we are telling our viewers your trajectory as a 49ers player, because in the beginning of the interview we didn't tell our viewers your trajectory, and we are telling our viewers that you were playing with Joe Montana, with Steve Young, and those of that legends in our team. Miquel, sigue.
Okay, thanks. Ahora vamos a preguntarle qué significó Bill Walsh para él y si reconoce similaridades entre lo que hacía con Bill Walsh y lo que está haciendo ahora Kyle Shanahan. The next question is, what did Bill Walsh mean to you? Do you think if there are similarities between him and Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, I mean, it's still that tree, that coaching tree that Bill Walsh started. But Bill Walsh, he had the gray hair and the soft features, and people thought he was kind of a soft coach, but he was anything but a soft coach. He was very demanding, he was hard on us. If you didn't meet up to the 49er standard, you wouldn't be there too long. And but there's no, with that being said, without Bill Walsh setting that high standard for all of us, we wouldn't have those 5 trophies sitting in Santa Clara today because of that. And obviously, George Seifert was one of his assistants, and then George Seifert became the head coach. And then George Seifert hired Mike Shanahan. When we hired Mike Shanahan, we had a ball boy that was working at our training camps. And that ball boy's name is Kyle Shanahan. Now, what's the other interesting thing that a lot of people don't know is there was another young man that was running around in our locker room in those days. And that young man's name is Sean McVay, who's now the coach for the Los Angeles Rams that won the Super Bowl. So there's a lot of rich history as far as how many coaches have come through the 49ers. Mike Holmgren was my offensive coordinator who won the Super Bowl with Green Bay and Brett Favre. So Andy Reid's got a history of connecting to the 49ers West Coast offense. So a lot of rich history as far as coaches with the 49ers.
Sí, bueno, nos está comentando Jesse que como que todo empezó con Bill Walsh y su West Coast, que un montón de los entrenadores que hay ahora, incluido Kyle Shanahan, descienden del árbol de Bill Walsh, y que bueno, que él nos ha contado que a pesar de que Bill Walsh tenía una tez y un pelo que invitaba a pensar que a lo mejor era un entrenador suave, que no tenía nada de suave y que era un entrenador muy duro, y que bueno, que si no llega a ser por él y por esa forma de entrenar no hubieran ganado los 5 campeonatos que ganaron, y que todo empezó con él, y que bueno, que mucha gente no lo sabe, pero que por allí correteaba en aquellos años un chavalín llamado Sean McVay, que ahora todo el mundo lo conocemos por ser uno de nuestros enemigos íntimos, ¿no? En esa NFC Oeste, entrenador de los Ángeles Rams. Siguiente pregunta por aquí. Tenemos por aquí ¿cuál fue la Super Bowl más especial y la más difícil de ganar? Jesse, what Super Bowl has been the most special for you and the most difficult to win?
Well, the ring that I wear the most is Super Bowl 23. Only because we had to come back the last drive of the game, and Joe Montana threw it to John Taylor to beat the Cincinnati Bengals in Miami. We were down by 3 with 2 minutes left, and we had to take it over 90 yards to win it. And that's what made Joe so special. Everybody calls him Joe Cool because of that reason.
Sí, dice que probablemente la más especial fue la que jugaron contra los Cincinnati Bengals, porque fue la que tuvieron que remontar. Y que gracias tenían a Joe Montana, pues por eso lo llaman Joe Cool, porque
Yo
obviamente
cool, sí.
es uno de los jugadores más carismáticos de la historia. I have to tell you, Jesse, that a friend of mine, the guy that introduced me to the American football game, told me that you make him very sad because he's a Cincinnati Bengals fan. So he told me that you make him super sad because they were defeated. Yeah, when I told him that I wanted to be a 49er support, he told me, no, you cannot do that because I'm a Bengals fan and they defeated us twice in the Super Bowl. But
They got two.
yeah, exactly. So that's something curious. So now we are still friends, so it's not a problem. Okay. Vamos a preguntarle ahora cómo es jugar con dos monstruos como Joe Montana y Steve Young. So you played with two of the most popular QBs, two monsters and legends and myths like Joe Montana and Steve Young. How is playing with them?
Well, it was great. People don't understand. Steve Young sat on the bench for 3.5 years while we were playing with Joe all those years, almost 4 years. We didn't know he was going to end up being a Hall of Famer, and Joe was, to me, in my mind, because of the competition he beat, Elway, Marino, two of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time. Joe just kind of beat him up pretty good in the biggest game. So we love Tom Brady because he grew up a 49er fan. But, in my mind, Joe's still the greatest. And then we were blessed to have Steve Young come in, learn the system, grind it with us for about 3 to 4 years until we broke through and beat the San Diego Chargers in Super Bowl 29. So I was really proud of him and happy for him. But to be in the center for those two guys truly was a blessing. But it also puts pressure on me that I have to protect them because, all the 49er fans will get on my case if I didn't protect them. But we had a good offensive line that protected them most of the time. And that's why we are champions today.
Claro, está comentando una cosa que tiene mucha gracia. A mí me encanta lo que está comentando Jesse porque recaía sobre sus hombros proteger a las dos leyendazas más grandes que ha tenido los 49ers. Y claro, imagínate para los fans si Jesse o cualquiera de esa línea ofensiva fallaba un bloqueo y dejaban entrar y lesionaban a cualquiera de los dos. Bueno, un dramón absolutamente espectacular. Y bueno, nos comenta Jesse que nos encanta Brady porque es aficionado de Niners, pero que para él el mejor quarterback de todos los tiempos es Joe Montana, que está muy orgulloso también de Steve Young, pero que Montana, que encima ha sido coetáneo de Elway, de Dan Marino, que para él es el mejor y que evidentemente jugar con ellos ha sido un lujo.
Who are the offensive and defensive players that have impacted you the most?
Who are the offensive and defensive player?
Yeah, offensive and defense player in the whole history.
On the 49ers or from other teams?
Whatever you want. So,
well, I played against some of the toughest competition out there. In the 90s, we played against the Dallas Cowboys in the big NFC championship games. And I played against a guy that's 6'8" named Leon Lett. That was a pretty darn good player. But I think the overall best lineman that I probably played against was a guy named Reggie White, who passed away. That was a play with the Green Bay Packers when they won the Super Bowl. Those were some tough matchups. Offensively, I like all guys. Number 80, Jerry Rice, and number 16, Joe Montana. But also we had so many great players: John Taylor, Steve Young, Ricky Waters, Roger Craig. And then, of course, the linemen that I played with. I love those guys like my brothers, Guy McIntyre, Steve Wallace, Harris Barton. So there's a reason why we have 5 Super Bowls, is because we played together as a team, guys with superstar type talent at every position. And yet we came together to try to play together so we can win championships.
Mm-hmm. Miguel, traduce tú porque estoy intentando toquetear a ver si consigo arreglar lo del audio.
Sí, bueno, nos comenta Jesse que ha jugado con grandísimos jugadores, que ha jugado con gente muy grande. Ha comentado el caso de Reggie Miller, creo que ha dicho, de los Cowboys, que era un tío muy grande, pero dice que ofensivamente se queda con sus compañeros de los 49ers, que tenían a Jerry Rice, que tenían a Joe Montana, que tenía a sus compañeros de línea ofensiva, que son como hermanos para él. Entonces él se queda más con sus compañeros de equipo. Entonces, bueno, vamos con la siguiente pregunta. So you retired after 15 seasons in the team, in the 49ers. Are you still attached to the franchise?
Yes, I'm still one of the ambassadors, alumni coordinators. So I fly up to every home game. And then if they need me, like I speak to the draft choices, the draft class. Right after the draft, I do a lot of community relations work. So this is my 38th year, 15 as a player, being involved with the San Francisco 49ers.
Nos está comentando que lleva 38 años trabajando en la franquicia, 15 como jugador y ahora es embajador y hace cosas de comunicación y sobre todo lo que hace es a las nuevas hornadas de jugadores que llegan, a los cachorros que vienen del draft, es un poco el que se encarga de darles la bienvenida y de darles la charla para que sepan dónde están, sobre todo.
Okay, let's speak about the present. So we have seen you in some pictures with a player who is Talona Hufanga. What do you think about him?
I just talked to him right before I got on with you. You know, he just called me. But I have a really close relationship with him because obviously we're Pacific Islanders.
Mm.
But, you know, just I took him, you know, I enjoy sharing some of my wisdom with him. I shared with him that, you know, they don't have to win 5 Super Bowls like we did to have the same legacy as my generation. I think if they can win 1 or 2, you know, the 49er fans will put them up there right along with us because that will put us at 7 Super Bowls. And you know, one of the most proudest moments of a 49er fan is when we became the first to win 5 in history of the game. And we would like to get back to that position. So I share with Talanoa, you know, you don't have to win 5, but if you can get us 1 or 2, you know,
it's enough, right?
That'll be a great thing.
Bueno, nos está comentando que tiene una relación muy estrecha con Talanoa Hufanga, evidentemente son de la misma zona. Y bueno, que está comentando que, claro, que él quiere que el equipo actual tenga el mismo legado que tuvo el equipo de Jesse. Pero claro, una de las cosas que más enorgullece a un aficionado de Niner es que fuimos el primer equipo en conseguir 5 Super Bowls. Entonces, habla con Talanoa y no le dice que tiene que ganar 5. Que con ganar 2 y llegar a 7 y ser otra vez el equipo que más tiene, es suficiente, digamos, que no tiene que ganar 5. Pero bueno, que tenemos un equipo para hacerlo y bueno, que con ganar 1 u 2, 1-2 Super Bowls podemos igualar el legado que tuvo ese equipo maravilloso que ganó 5.
Okay, Jesse, something that I'd like to know is what do you think about the current team that we have? What do you think about the players, the system?
Well, no question. The number one concern is if Brock Purdy comes back completely healthy, because I truly felt like we found a guy. We found a young man that can take us for years to come. You know, not saying that I don't know what the situation is with Trey Lance, and he's such a good young man also. But this is a business, and what Brock Purdy did for us last year, you know, when Jimmy got hurt, I was up there at that game against Miami. It's like the balloon, just the air just kind of came out of the balloon. But yet 5 weeks later, we were thinking we're going to go to the Super Bowl. And there was one reason for that. And that's because the young man that we picked as Mr. Irrelevant came through and proved to us that he has the goods to make us a champion. It was unfortunate what happened in the last game when he got hurt so early. It would knock us out, you know, any chance of us getting to the Super Bowl. But that's state of the current team. You know, Brock Purdy is a big and make sure he's healthy. We signed some good defensive guys. We've lost some guys like Jimmy Ward, but we lost some defensive ends like Epucamp, but we signed a real good defensive lineman from Philadelphia. I think that's going to make a difference to bring it like when DeForest Buckner was with us. So we're excited. We're excited, but there still remains to be seen how those things come together.
We here in Spain, we trust so much in Brock Purdy too. Except Albert, our chief, he saw him his 4 college years, and he doesn't trust him so much. But I and David and Mikel, we love Purdy, and we trust in him. He will make us champion again. Lo que nos está comentando Jesse es que, bueno, que él cree que hemos encontrado el hombre en Brock Purdy, que la única incógnita que tenemos, la más grande incógnita que tenemos, es cómo va a llegar después de esta lesión que ha tenido. Tuvimos una mala suerte terrible de perderle en el Championship Game. Y bueno, que luego en la defensa, bueno, pues ha hecho un repaso un poco de cómo estamos, que en la defensa hemos perdido a Jimmy Ward, que hemos hecho una gran edición con Javon Hargrave y que con esto pues que tenemos un equipo muy excitante. También ha comentado que, bueno, que aunque Lance le ve que es un gran tipo, yo creo que él está en el punto en el que estamos bastante desaficionados, nenes, que confiamos en que Purdy va a ser nuestro hombre de aquí en adelante y que podemos podemos ganar con él, vamos a decir, ¿no? Jesse, do you think Cole McKivitz is prepared to start in the offensive line?
He's going to have to be, be ready. That business is, when it's time for you to step up, you got to step up, and they're going to find out. He's shown some flashes of good play, but we lost McClinchy and I think we lost 2 guys in free agency. But I don't know if we're going to pick and invest some more in the draft, but it's important that we make sure we shore those 5 guys up front. To make sure we protect Brock Purdy or Trey Lance or Sam Donald, whoever is back there. The team, I don't care how good the quarterback is, if those guys, 5 guys up front, don't give you time to throw the ball, it's irrelevant.
Jesse, did you like Mike McGlinchey?
I like Mike. I like his $87 million he got from Denver, but no, well, you have to understand that, there's 5 guys on the line, and Mike played well enough for the most part. Now, it's not a perfect game like any other game, right? There's always going to be parts that you're hoping, everybody knows what Trent Williams brings to the table, and sometimes comparing those 2 guys is a little bit unfair to Mike. But the question was, does Mike perform well enough to carry us to the Super Bowl? I believe he does. And part of that is because of experience. But every now and then, the reason why the 49er fans are hard on Mike is because sometimes he gives up a few pressures and some sacks in key situations. And I get it. I get it. We want to have a perfect offensive line, but sometimes that's almost impossible to do. And the best thing is to make sure we coach those guys up so that we can play the best during championship time.
Miquel, tradúcenos las 2 respuestas, si es que te acuerdas.
Bueno, le hemos preguntado qué opinaba de si McKivitz estaba preparado. De hecho, que debería estarlo, porque tiene que estarlo, porque realmente es lo que le toca demostrarlo. Entonces, bueno, hemos preguntado por McClinchy, ha dicho que, bueno, que es importante que la línea funcione bien, pero que a veces era un poco injusto porque lo comparaban con Trent, y claro, Trent es buenísimo, entonces que era un poco injusto. Y que en algunos momentos pues tenía algunos momentos así un poco, pero que sí que estaba contento con su rendimiento y que bueno, que tenía que creía que había sido un buen jugador. Y vamos a hacerle la última pregunta porque tampoco queremos tenerlo mucho tiempo aquí. Okay, so we know that just to finish this talk, what could you tell us about the Polynesian Pro Football Hall of Fame that you created in 2013? So you are one of the founders. What can you tell us about this?
Well, it's important that we remember I talked about when I first came into the league, there were about 4 or 5 of us Polynesians. Now we have close to 100 in the NFL, but there's those who came before me. And I just don't want these kids today that are making millions of dollars to forget about those guys that even came before me, that kind of gave them hope that, Polynesian kids can also play in the NFL. So that is what the Polynesian Hall of Fame is. Then we also have a high school all-star game that Talanoa Hufanga played in, and some of the NFL players that are playing now played in that all-star game for us to share our Polynesian culture, and share our history with black players, white players that get to come over to Hawaii for that particular game. But I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you know that I played in Barcelona, Spain?
No, really?
Well,
You didn't know
against the
No.
Steelers, maybe.
The 49ers versus the Steelers at Olympic Stadium.
In Barcelona.
Yes,
Yeah,
I practiced in Barcelona one whole week. I played there against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You see, you didn't know that. I actually played in Barcelona, Spain. And it's one of the most great memories that I have playing football is playing in Barcelona.
Nice. Good to know.
Mikel is from Barcelona.
Yeah, I live nearby Barcelona and also Albert. Yeah, so
Also Albert, yeah.
I know that a lot of people enjoyed a lot that game because it's not a popular sport here, but it was super glamorous and special because it was coming from the US, and we sometimes see what comes from the US as something big and it's not the same business, and it's everything is more glittering, let's say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bueno,
sí, perdona, Miguel, sí.
No, nos comenta que sí, que crearon este Hall of Fame para que todo el mundo sepa, para que los jugadores que están ahora en la NFL sepan todos los grandes jugadores y grandes que han habido antes que ellos, y que no pierdan esta memoria y que tengan este orgullo por la gente que antes que ellos ha jugado en la liga.
Sí, y además juegan un partido de All-Stars de colegial y que ha jugado Ufanga, ¿no? Nos comentaba también.
Exacto, sí.
Pues una curiosidad, una curiosidad más. Y que lo que nos comentaba, que nos ha hecho una pregunta a nosotros, que si sabíamos que había jugado él en Barcelona. Yo no lo sabía, Miquel dice que sí, que había jugado un partido que fue en Steelers, sí. Y que estuvo una semana en Barcelona entrenando y que lo disfrutó mucho. Y bueno, Jesse, we hope you will visit Spain again in the future. You can call us. And we will invite you to have a wonderful Spanish meal or dinner, whatever you want.
I plan to do that.
Okay. Good to know.
2 to 3 years, yeah.
Bueno, hemos dicho que cuando venga a España, si quiere venir a España, pues le invitamos a comer o cenar, lo que él quiera. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for being here with us. It has been a huge pleasure for us to have you here with us. It has been a wonderful interview. Thank you very much, and we hope that you have enjoyed it.
Yeah, maybe you speak every day with the Super Bowl winners, but we don't do this every day.
Yeah.
It's something new for us.
Well, thank you for having me. Say hello to all of our 49er fans that are in Spain, and
will do.
And keep the faith. The 49ers will soon. So
Spanish Niner community is a very faithful fan base. Yeah,
there you go. Faithful to the Bay. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem.
It's been an honor. Thank you, Jesse.